Hello, everybody. Welcome to the AEW Double or Nothing 2022 review. I am your host, Daniel, joined by my other host,
It's your boy Chris.
who is also the editor of all of our videos. So, shout out to Chris indeed. So, our voices are still a little destroyed after going to Double or Nothing just a few days ago. But must I say, wow, wow. What a show. And I might just have to say it. Personally, this was one of my favorite AEW shows to date. It's probably my second favorite, actually, behind Full Gear 2021. So, Chris, any prior thoughts before we dive into this review?
We'll get to it. I want to wait until the matches happen, and then we'll discuss it. But it's pretty
All right.
solid.
Pretty solid indeed. So, we kick things off. Well, you know what? Before we talk about the matches, you want to talk about our experience getting into the arena.
Oh no. I mean, was it that bad, Daniel? It's not like we waited in 40 minutes and then somebody actually passed out in the middle of the line because the security was so ass. But we're not gonna get into it.
Yeah. T-Mobile Arena security, we're definitely on one. Anyone working there can quite simply. Nah, I'm not gonna go off. But anyways, not good security. Simply put, we kick things off with a buy-in. Hausen versus Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. Just a little fun buy-in, match to get the crowd hyped up for the show, and I think it worked perfectly here. You got Danhausen. He pretty much got his ass kicked, kind of like the first match, but this time he actually got to get a bit of offense in. And, any bit of offense he got in, the crowd basically ate that shit up. And honestly, it was fun. It was fun for what it was worth. And when Hook came in, he did his thing, kicked some ass. Seeing him live was definitely, really cool, I must say. So, Danhausen had a funny little ending, just taking advantage off of Hook's work, getting the pin right there. And I think this little team, Hookhausen, has a lot of potential. So I'm going to give this match a 7.5. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, I'll do the same. Hookhausen actually got a bunch of offense, which is really surprising because I thought he was going to get his shit smacked and let Hook do all the work. But surprisingly, the MVP was Danhausen. He was really killing it, and I'm actually surprised he could wrestle because I more or less thought he was kind of a joker. But my boss is actually talking about it. Surprisingly, there was a lot of Ring of Honor stuff that he was known for. So I'll check out those matches probably after this podcast. See what Danhausen has cooking in his kitchen.
For sure. Now we kick things off huge with MJF, who had quite the weekend, we must say. He, walked out of a fan meet and greet during the weekend, and AEW had to give their fans refunds over it. And he booked the flight all the way back to New Jersey from Las Vegas, but he never went on that flight. And so basically, he showed up here, and he did an airplane taunt before the match even began. So, basically making fun of people who have kind of, been fed up in this, unique situation, I can say. So now we go over to Wardlow. He makes his entrance, no music, in handcuffs like usual. The crowd erupted when they saw him. And when I say this, MJF got his ass beat. And when I say he got his ass beat, this match was a massacre. He basically got barely any offense on Wardlow. I think at max 5 seconds of offense on Wardlow. And Wardlow delivered a total of 10 really brutal power bombs. And Wardlow was able to win. So thanks to this win, he is now all elite. I thought it was good, maybe it wasn't quite the crazy match that it could have been, but for this kind of story, it didn't really need to offer a crazy match or anything. I understood what the premise and purpose was, and simply put, the job was done. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I thought it was good.
No, Danny, you're forgetting one important detail. That referee was crooked. He didn't let MJF use his diamond ring because that referee is fucking dirty. Dirty. But for real though, the match seemed oh shit, a bit of a punish for Van MJX just because he just got completely fucking destroyed in like 5 minutes or less, and I'm surprised he actually
The match,
showed up.
funny enough, went 7.5 minutes.
Oof. Was that with
It
intro or
did not,
no intro?
no intros.
Oh,
Yeah, it felt long. It was longer than it felt for sure.
I mean, I kind of felt cheaped out of it, but I get it. Warlord's gonna destroy MGF, but I kind of feel cheated out of a match, but that's more or less on MJF's fault or Tony Khan or whoever the fuck's in charge of that sort of thing. Because I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, that's kind of disappointing. Like I wanted to see more than this, but whatever. It was okay. So just for the segment and that one little spot with MJF like freaking out with the diamond ring, probably gonna get like a 5. It was like
Mm.
whatever.
All right. All right. Wasn't really your thing.
Nah,
All
massacre.
right. I could respect that. Now this next match was fun. This match was not only fun, it was awesome. We got the best tag team of all time versus most people's favorite tag team today. And I can simply say this delivered. You got quite some interesting spots like Jeff Hardy hitting a really cool swanton bomb on top of one of the Jackson brothers on the stairs. I can't tell who Matt and Nick is. I'm very sorry. I get that they look different. I don't give a shit.
It's their
Sorry.
beards. Ah,
So
fuck my throat.
so yeah, he tried to scream some nonsense. I don't know. What he just tried to do, but basically, there were a lot of great spots. And the Hardy Boys were able to pick up the win. And honestly, it was a pretty 50-50 crowd. I kind of thought it was going to be mostly Young Bucks fans, honestly, because for a lot of All Elite Wrestling fans, the Young Bucks have been there since the first day. The Hardys kind of haven't. So I just kind of figured that the Hardys were kind of going to get booed, but they didn't. They didn't. It was very split down the middle. And I think the right team definitely won here. You got to get those legends over on the AEW product. So, yeah, as for the Young Bucks, they're fine. They're going to continue their storyline with the Undisputed Elite. And, yeah, honestly, we'll see where things go from there. Overall, I'm going to give this match a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I thought you hated them live. You were talking so much shit when we saw them live, like the Young Bucks, they suck. And I'm like, nah, the Young
They
Bucks.
do. They do
No,
suck,
no, they don't,
but
Daniel.
they deliver when they need to.
They deliver all the time.
They do not.
No, but all for real though, this was definitely a dream match. You could kind of tell that Jeff was a little out of it due to that Darby thing, because there were some moments in the match that I noticed that he was going kind of slow because it looked like he was injured, especially
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
swanton bomb, which that was fucking sick. But god damn it, dude, I was just like, give this man some Advil or something for his back, because Jesus Christ, he's gonna die for Jeff Hardy. But Nick and Jackson were great in this match. I'm sad that they lost, but I get it. They're not going to lose to the Hardys. They can't beat them because the Hardys mean a lot more than the Young Bucks, sadly. But they'll get there soon enough one day. And the match was pretty solid, so I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
All right. Sweet. Now, this next match, I saw some hate on it. Now, I gotta say, I don't really understand the hate. I thought this match was good. The TBS Championship match, Jade Cargill versus Anna Jade. Now, I get this little energy, right, that Jade Cargill is green and whatnot, but let me be perfectly honest here. A lot of wrestlers that, typically have the look when you think about it aren't really the best wrestlers on the planet. I mean, you can't really have it all, can you? I mean, some people just do, but I'm gonna just be fair here. I think Jade Cargill has improved over time, and I've sensed that she's improved over time. And she introduced a few new moves in this TBS Championship match, and Anna Jay did her thing here too. I didn't think this was the greatest match in the world, but I honestly enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and I can't really knock it whatsoever. It keeps Jade Cargill looking strong, and you even had some wild things going on the outside, like John Silver giving a brainbuster to an already fucked up Mark Sterling. That was great, and a nice John Silver cameo considering he didn't have a match. And also, seeing the debut of Stokely was awesome, very awesome, and I felt like it was done perfectly in this match. Where you kind of had Mark get taken out, and then Stokely kind of proved to be like, I guess you could say, helpful for Jade. And I guarantee you throughout time Stokely's going to be replacing Mark Sterling very easily. So 7 out of 10. Again, I can't really knock it. I thought it was good.
And for me, I guess I'm gonna be the little hater here. I thought besides those two things with Johnny Silver and the new manager guy, I'm somewhat familiar with him on NXT, but not entirely. I've seen clips and things on Twitter. But anyways, back to the match. The match, I thought it was fine for what it is. It was very predictable because Jade's not going to lose to her. It's pretty obvious, and more or less it was more filler. I didn't think it was the worst thing ever, but I don't necessarily thought it should have been on the pay-per-view, if I'm being quite honest. But it's fine. So just 5 out of 10. It wasn't the worst thing, but it wasn't the greatest thing. It was just kind of mid. There, I
Another
said it.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oof. Are you hating on the show?
I'm not hating
Are
on
you
this
hating
show.
on the show?
I just thought the match was mid as fuck. I'm sorry. I like Jade, but when you give me matches where it's so predictable, I'm not going to enjoy it because I already know who's going to win. So mid out of 10.
Oof. Well, shall we talk about what happens after the match?
Yes.
So, Chris Statlander comes out, makes the save from the baddies, but Chris Statlander isn't the only one who makes the save. We got my favorite female wrestler in the world, Athena. She finally here in All Elite Wrestling, and it feels oh so right.
Oh,
We
you mean
finally got
Ember Moon?
a first big player, Ember Moon.
Yeah.
The one who should have beaten Asuka's undefeated streak. The one who should have at least won that Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship at least once. Ember Moon is fire. And her potential was unfortunately not utilized to the most it could have been in WWE. But seeing her in AEW, I think she's going to make quite a killer impact. And personally, if I had it my way, honestly, it looks like they're positioning her to go after Jade Cargill. I'm perfectly okay with that. And I've said this before. I think if they brought in Athena, she has to be the one to beat Jade Cargill. And there's really no question about it. However, recently, I kind of have wanted something a little different. Honestly, I want Athena going after the bigger title, Thunder Rosa. And as for the TBS title, who would get that? My personal pick would be either Chris Statlander or the other recently signed Tony Storm. So that's my personal take on what I would do for Jade's next feud. Obviously, like I said, it's probably going to be Athena, but if I had it my way, I would have Athena go for the other fish while Chris and Tony can get shots at her.
Just you're forgetting one person, Daniel, that can defeat her with the power of politics.
Oh, well, I think I know who you're about to say here, so you can go ahead.
Britt Baker.
Oof. Well, we'll talk about Britt Baker later on in this show. But, yeah, man, I thought, honestly, we have 2 new debuts in the span of 5 minutes. Come on. That's pretty epic when you think about it.
That was now the thing for this match.
Now, we get to the next match, and this match was absolutely phenomenal. This would be my match of the night, but something else happened later on the show, which we'll get to. Yeah, this is the House of Black versus Death Triangle. They both had quite some good entrances, but not even just the entrances. They went all out here when it came to, just putting off moves that were absolutely insane. Strikes that looked really authentic. Simply put, this match was the shit. This was an awesome, and I mean an awesome, 6-man tag team match. This was everything you could have expected these 6 to put on. Just a car crash style match. And obviously, there was some backlash I heard apparently about Jim Ross. He definitely seemed drunk in Las Vegas, simply put, and his commentary basically was him kind of being a grumpy old man hating on every single match. And the match that suffered the most from Jim Ross was actually this match due to not being loyal to traditional wrestling tag team rules where if there are two guys in the ring for longer than 5 seconds, the match is over. So they broke that rule over and over and over again in this match. But here's the thing here. I think AEW have basically made it clear at this point that rule doesn't really exist in this company. And honestly, I've thought about it more and more. And at first I kind of hated it too, but I've kind of grown to accept that because, they kind of have a bit more, I guess you could say, they have a bit more of an open, it's hard to really explain myself. All right, but think about it like this. Every time a wrestler should get DQ'd in WWE, if they do the same thing in AEW, that doesn't really happen, unless if it's like something absolutely insane. But basically, point being is that I've kind of accepted that AEW is more lean on the rules in comparison to WWE, at least for some aspects. And I guess one of those aspects is these tag team matches. So I've accepted it. And honestly, if you accept it, you're going to have a shit ton of fun with matches like this. So I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. Definitely a match to go back to over and over again because it's a blast to watch.
And then we have to cancel Jim Ross because he don't deserve to be there. I'm just kidding. Jim Ross is awesome.
I was about to say Jim Ross is awesome. He just had a rough night, and I actually saw some of the clips. They were funny, but yeah, it definitely wasn't his best night in commentary history.
We'll kick him out. Get him out of AEW. No, but but for real, there was one thing that I was so happy. Like the match was absolutely fire. But dude, we finally got Julia Hart. She finally joined the House of Black.
Yeah, that's right. That is right.
And I'm just
another
like,
great
yes.
thing that happened in this match. You see, this match is so amazing that there are like little things you could even that slips your head. But no, we finally got the long-term payoff for that too, which is fantastic.
And then, oh my god, and then Brody King just fucking doing cannonballs onto Rey Fenix was fucking brutal. And that just being the shit out of Pac was insane too.
I will say the botch with him landing on the apron was a bit rough though. I mean, there were definitely some botches throughout the night. We cannot ignore that for sure.
Oh yeah. And we'll get to the botches for tonight.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. That little botch thing with Brody King was absolutely brutal. I'm just like, oh, he's fucking dead. But there's worse ones, like you said. But this match is an absolute classic. I'm glad the House of Black won. I was rooting for them to win because, goddamn it, they need actual good opponents to fight. And with this whole Julia Hart joining the feud, it should be very interesting what they do. So maybe Julia Hart can get some like matches in for herself to represent the House of Black.
I agree.
So yeah, match was great. 9 out of 10.
All right. So now we get to the Owen Hart Cup men's final. Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe. Before we begin talking about these matches, you know what? I'll save it for the Martha Hart speech, what I really have to say about this tournament. I'm going to talk about these matches first, though. Okay. So, the finals match here, Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe. In my personal opinion, I checked. It only went 12 minutes. And I am someone who typically says, if there are two performers that are great, with a certain amount of time, I think they could work with it. I don't quite know if 12 minutes was really enough time for these two to tell a story, though, especially two who are kind of more veterans in the game. I don't know. That's just me personally, right? So, that being said, though, they didn't put on a bad match, but they definitely, and I mean definitely, could have put on a way better one. And honestly, me and Chris did definitely feel a bit of disappointment from this match. That is for sure. And you know what? I wanted Samoa Joe to win, but I did predict Adam Cole because I noticed Adam Cole kind of has more fans behind him right now than Samoa Joe. And I don't know. I definitely think if there is someone that AEW wants to line up for Punk as a challenger, Adam Cole is definitely a candidate for one of those guys. I mean, Samoa Joe is as well. But I guess his whole program with Lethal and Friends really did fuck him over in the long scheme of things, if you think about it. But hey, whatever, you know. And only Bobby Fish was all that needed to help to take down Samoa Joe. So it was mid. I can't really deny it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just mid. I'm gonna be nice, and like I said, it wasn't bad, and there were definitely a few decent things here and there. But I'm gonna give this a 5.5 out of 10.
That's really nice of you, Daniel, because I'm about to rip this match a whole different thing. And just a heads up, the worst matches in this entire thing were both the women's and the men's Owen Hart Cup, because I hate both of these matches just as much. First of all, I don't want to be that guy, but Samoa Joe losing to Adam Cole is such a fucking spit to the face of the Ring of Honor title. It carries no merit at all. You might as well just make him the 24/7 champion at this point, because god damn it, this match was so fucking mid. I wish I would have went to the bathroom instead of the other fucking match that we did entirely.
Nah, that's not true.
No, this
That's not
match this
true.
match had the worst fucking ending possible. I don't care about Adam Cole, and this is all fucking backstage politics again and again. And he's not going to be the next world champion because he could have even beat Adam Hangman Page. That guy's a chump. A chump, I tell you.
That's but you back that chump like all the time.
Not anymore. I don't. He
Oh,
doesn't. He don't support the Young Bucks. He's
he,
a he's a chump. But no, this match is boring, and god damn it, I hate slow burner matches, Daniel. I mean, everyone knows the podcast by now.
okay,
I
that's not even fair to call this a slow burner match. The definition of a slow burner match is when you're slower for like the first 5 to 10 minutes, then go into like a second gear for like another 5 minutes, then you go all out for like the second half.
bro, you know what this match felt like? It felt like some new guy
If you want a
driving.
true slow burner, look up Omega versus Danielson. That's the definition of a slow burner,
Yeah, but
and a classic at that.
yeah,
A
but
slow
that's
burner is like a compliment. This isn't a fucking slow burner. This was mid. They were both stuck in first base the entire time.
you're right. This isn't a slow burner. This is a pile of fucking trash and ashes because I already knew who was gonna fucking win after the obvious pick of Britt Baker making. I'm like, oh great, they're gonna go with the fucking power couple thing all over again. I hate this match. It was a waste of time. And no matter how many minutes you would have given it, I still would have felt the same because this match is ass. It's so mid. 4 out of
Damn.
10.
All right. All right. Shit.
Fuck you, Adam
Oh,
Cole.
Owen Hart. Owen Hart Cup Women's Finals was Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Ruby Soho. Uh, Um, yeah, I kind of have similar things to say about the last match we saw. This was kind of mid. I mean, it was definitely an improvement off of their match on Grand Slam because I didn't think their Grand Slam match was good, but I thought this match was at least like, eh, like there were definitely a few decent things about it, kind of like Cole versus Joe, and I disagree with the winner again here. I think Samoa Joe should have won the men's tournament, and if I had to pick to win the women's tournament, obviously it was going to be Tony Storm or Chris Statlander. But if I couldn't get either of those two, I would have probably preferred Ruby Soho over Britt Baker. But yeah, I got the one I didn't want. Uh, you know, out of the four, it is what it is. Um, I understand it though. Britt Baker has a fuck ton of fans. So just like Adam Cole, they're both really over with the audience more than Joe and Soho, unfortunately. Like it is what it is. The audience care more about Cole and Britt Baker, even if they weren't a couple. That's just kind of the truth. If I'm being quite honest with you. So yeah, with that being said though, I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10.
Oh, man. You're really nice, Daniel, because god damn it. You know what was even worse than Adam Cole? Dude, you want to know what's worse, Daniel?
Britt Baker.
This this match was the definition of fucking pointless. Because the moment Britt Baker won her last match against Tony Storm, I already fucking knew no one's gonna beat her. And the only cool thing about this match was the intros at best. But god damn it, Ruby Soho, I never liked you from the beginning. I don't like your wrestling work, and I certainly don't like her promo work. And this just proves it to me that you should just go back to Dark Evolution because you can't wrestle. You can't wrestle. And how are you gonna fuck up the sharpshooter on the Owen Hart tournament? And then Britt Baker just kicks out of it like it's nothing. And you know what? Yeah, it was nothing because Ruby couldn't even fucking do it properly and fuck
That's
up the
a
submission.
that's another thing. JR called out during the night. He called out the fact that literally nobody was able to do the sharpshooter right.
Just like, God damn it. This match was so boring, and I had hope in Ruby. I was like, oh, maybe Tony won't go through his approach with Vince McMahon's like, let the power couple win. No, this match is fucking ass. It was boring, and I don't like Britt Baker's finisher. It's fucking trash. It is stupid. It don't make sense. She just gets a
How's your day
glove.
been?
It's been good. The only cool thing that we got is that maybe we got a tease that she's gonna turn face. Britt Baker is, but I don't know. I feel like it's probably gonna be like
No,
a
that
one-time thing.
if you already saw Dynamite, that was never even gonna
Oh,
happen.
so again, this match was fucking pointless. And if you
Well,
like
wait.
Britt Baker, you might as well call yourself a sheep.
All right, that's a bit far.
It was farther than this fucking match.
All right, well, rating.
Oh yeah, 4 out of 10 because this match was very. It's not even mid. It was just bad. It was boring.
All right, that's a bit. All right, I don't know if I.
Boring,
Ooh,
Daniel. Boring. A waste of time.
nah. I will give you one thing.
Yo,
I thought the Martha Hart speech was beautiful. I must say
it was.
after the match, and I thought the championships looked cool as fuck, and so did the trophy.
Yeah, but they gave it to the wrong people, my guy.
But this is what I was about to say. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought this tournament was a failure. And before everyone goes like, whoa, 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 that's not really true, or this is not. I'm gonna explain it. If you count the qualifiers, then I guess this was a 16-person tournament. But I don't really see it that way. If we're looking at official slots, there were eight. There were eight, and I just gotta say it. I think with having a huge roster that you do, having only 8-person tournament was kind of wrong, in my opinion. It should have at least been a 16 or 32, and I think it should have, you know, it should have really been something that was established as more important in the company. I guess you can kind of say, and I get why. Another reason why I was going to say I think why they put the trophies on Adam Cole and Britt Baker is because think about it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Adam Cole and Samoa Joe, who's going to be around longer? Definitely Adam Cole. And if you look at Britt Baker and Ruby Soho, who's more likely to be around longer? Also Britt Baker. They want these cups to be on people that are going to be there for the long haul, long-term players as well. So that's another reason I'll kind of, not completely shit on them giving the win to Britt Baker and Adam Cole. But with that being said, I think these wouldn't be my personal winners still. I personally think the tournaments should have gone to talent that weren't entirely established. Kind of like Adam Cole and Britt Baker. I feel like these two are already established enough on AEW television, personally speaking. You already have Adam Cole being the leader, one of the biggest staples in the company. And you already have Britt Baker, who had a huge championship run just recently. And now the Owen Hart winner. So I don't know. I guess I feel like maybe they shouldn't have really gone with people that were already quite established. But hey, that's just my personal opinion.
That's true. So on to the next match, Daniel.
All right, next match. We are not even going to rate it. It was a 6 mixed tag match. Team Sammy versus Team Sky. We were basically went to use the bathroom, looked at merch, and contemplated buying the fucking $6 water, but ended up not. So with all of that, we missed like probably all the match except for like the last 5 minutes, which I guess we caught some action. It was kind of cool, but it's not really fair to grade this match because we weren't there for all of it. And if we were there for all of it, we probably would have crapped on it more than the other two matches, realistically. So, yeah. With that being said, I personally would have cut off 3 minutes of like, the mixed tag and giving it to Cole and Joe personally. 15 minutes for Cole and Joe. Then if that match was bad, they wouldn't have really had an excuse. So next match. I thought it was great, short, sweet, and simple. Darby Allin versus Kyle O'Reilly. People argue, well, they could have put this on the Dynamite. I disagree, man. I thought this perfectly fit for Double or Nothing, because it was a great way to showcase both talent. They both had a reason to fight, and it was over the injury of Sting. And honestly, I thought the time limit was perfect with it. So, fuck it. Why not? Why not? Who gives a shit? Let it be on the pay-per-view. I thought it was a great match. It didn't really hurt anybody. There was a brutal knee strike to Darby Allin that caused him to bleed. And I thought the ending was great. I thought the suicide dive countered into like the, guillotine choke was phenomenal. Kyle O'Reilly really is a great technician, and Darby Allin really still doing his thing is just fantastic. So 8.5 out of 10 for me.
That's fair. And then the same thing. I don't know why people, excuse me, were complaining about it because Jesus Christ, Kyle was a fucking monster in this. Besides the knee to the face of Darby Allin, the dude literally broke his own chain and choked him out in it, dude. It was fucking insane. They didn't need to go that hard. And I want to, I want a match between these two again, mano y mano, because Darby Allin was so much fun to see him live, and the same thing with Kylo. Jesus Christ, Kyle, bro, please. But yeah, this match was solid. It was a good filler match, and it needed to do what it did to kill time. So 8 out of 10.
All right, next match: Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's Championship. Now, say what you want about the build. We all knew what this match was going to be. It was going to be that sleeper hit. It was going to be great, and it was. It was everything I thought it would be. These two put on a great match. Serena Deeb put on quite the clinic in there, and so did Thunder Rosa. Man, they both did their thing. The ending was just spectacular. So I don't really have too much to say about this. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I thought both of them looked really good, and I thought this was perfectly fine.
And yeah, there was besides that, there was also great. Some I don't not too familiar with the terms, but the submission move that Thunder Rosa put Serena Deep through, where she kind of like planted her body and to kind of distort it
Oh
while she
yeah,
was carrying her.
I think I kind of know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I wish I really knew what it was because this was definitely a great showcase of the submission moves. Because god damn it, it looked painful. It was so great, dude. Like just for the moment, I already know this is gonna be a banger. Unfortunately, the build up and the promos weren't really like feeling it, but the match by itself was fucking great. Everyone was into it. The crowd stayed, unlike the Jade and the Sammy matches. They actually stayed support on the Rose because she's the goat. This match was great. It was 8 out of 10. It needed to be done, and I couldn't be more happier with the outcome. So yeah,
Now, now we talk about the craziest shit I think I've ever seen live. Not just wrestling, but literally in fucking anything. Anarchy in the arena. Holy fucking shit. This was the best match in AEW history. We made a top 10 list, which is going to be on the way, of the best AEW matches in its young 3-year history, and it was recorded before Double or Nothing. But if it was recorded after, this would be number one. Jesus Christ. You have wrestlers bleeding gallons of blood, fighting literally in our section of the crowd. We have freaking Santana and Ortiz climbing ladders, putting 2.0 through tables. We have freaking Daniel Garcia doing pile drivers on steel steps, doing some crazy ass shit as well. Eddie Kingston looked like a freaking psychopath in this match, and he didn't really do too much wrestling, but he did a fuck ton of fighting. He fought literally all throughout the arena, and literally the security had to clean up blood throughout the entire arena, man. There was one part in the match where he walked through the stage with with like a bucket of gasoline. He poured it on top of Jericho and Bryan. He was about to set them on fire. This is some Mick Foley shit, folks. And then Bryan Danielson takes the lighter out of his hand and he gets pissed off, like, what the fuck are you thinking? And this results in a fight. This results in a huge fight between Kingston and Bryan. And unfortunately, The group is dysfunctional now, and that leads to the Jericho Appreciation Society taking advantage. Hager and Jericho with that incredible finish where he has Danielson in the walls of Jericho. Hager gets, the part of the ring Moxley ripped off, and he starts choking Bryan Danielson with the rope until he ultimately passes out. And as Justin Roberts said before the match, shit's about to hit the fan, and the crowd just erupted after that. This shit is exactly why AEW is such a fresh breath of air, in the modern wrestling scope. This was just brilliant. This was pure brilliance. You have 3 fights going on at the same exact time. Like this, what more could you want than this match? This has heat behind it. This has everything behind it. And at first, I was a bit upset about the Jericho Appreciation Society winning, but the more and more I thought about it, it was the right decision. And honestly, Blood and Guts is going to be the sequel, and it's going to be glorious. I can tell. This is an easy 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Like you said, there was many spots where I'm just like, holy shit, especially John Moxley completely destroying the fucking ring was like so out of nowhere, and it was just like, dude, what the fuck is happening? And then Chris Jericho's little goons like going back and forth. And shout out to Eddie Kingston for pouring fucking mustard and ketchup on that dude's head. What does he call himself, Daniel? The fucking
Daniel Garcia, I think it was.
Yeah, because that shit was intense. And then him coming in with the gasoline can about to light him on fire. I was so fucking excited. I'm like, yes, killed the wizard. But of course, Daniel Bryan, the vegetarian, had to ruin it. All he had to do was just stand still and be roasted like his asparagus or whatever the fuck else he needs to eat because he's
Jesus
vegan.
Christ. Jesus.
But the one thing I'm so excited for, Daniel, is the fact that we're probably going to get an Eddie versus Daniel Bryanson feud. And it's just like, oh, it's so fucking perfect.
I would love for them to fight again, because I remember their match on Rampage last year was great. So I would love to see them fight again.
And like you said, this match is absolutely fucking chaotic. I wish I could have watched it because there was many spots that we were kind of distracted on, especially since our boy Eddie and Santana was in our section fighting and shit.
Yeah, thankfully I was able to go back on like Daily Motion and whatnot, find a match, dude. Fucking it's fantastic.
It was so good. And I don't know who threw John Moxley into that barbed wire table, but dude, that shit looked brutal as fuck.
That I believe was either Jericho or Hager.
Well, whoever did it, it's just John Moxley in pain. Like actually in pain.
Yeah, no, that was insane.
And what I really liked about it too, after the match, was the fact that Eddie was such a fucking like sore loser. I guess
he blew
sore
the
loser.
fuck up. He blew the fuck up. Yeah.
He was so pissed off, covered in gallons of blood. He's like, no. But then he faded. But I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, you understand his frustration. You get it. You feel for the character. And Eddie Kingston's character work right now may arguably be some of the best character work in all of AEW.
But yeah, dude, Eddie was the MVP of this match. It was so fucking good. 10 out of 10. I want to rewatch it. It was so good.
Yeah, definitely the best match AEW has ever done. Wouldn't you agree?
It is. This tops anything they do. For now.
Yeah, I agree. Who knows? Maybe they'll somehow top it at Blood and Guts. I don't know how they will. But we'll see. This is definitely the match of 2022 so far. Absolutely. So, yeah, we got 2 matches left, folks.
Yeah.
AEW Tag Team Championship match. We got Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus Team Taz versus the AEW Tag Team Champions, Jurassic Express. And ooh-wee! This match was amazing. You knew it was going to be amazing, though. A bunch of high-flying, bunch of giants going at it. You can't really get much better than this match, man. You really can't. And I will say this. I personally thought the Revolution match, I prefer that one more because I felt like there was more heat and more story involving that one. But this one was great, too, man. And it really was a great showcase of AEW's explosive tag team division. Where do they go from here? I think we do Jurassic Express versus FTR, personally. That's the direction I think they should be going for, to not unify, but I guess fight for both belts, the AEW and ROH belts. That's where I would go from here. I think Jurassic Express, did their thing. They look fantastic. Keith Lee and Swerve were freaking awesome. Of course, they were awesome in this match, and so were Team Taz, especially Ricky Starks doing the freaking, Michael Jackson moves while walking on the ropes. All of them are stars. Literally, all of them are stars. I could literally see every single person in this match being a future AEW or TNT champion. Like, this is a stacked match, and go ahead and watch it. You will not be disappointed. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
You know what? I would give it a 9 out of 10, but they should have gave it to Keith Lee and Swerve. They did it. Oh, it was so bad because I was just like they were definitely my favorites out of the bunch. And Ricky Starks was brilliant, but his little moonwalk ended for him getting his fucking balls like cut in the fucking rope as Young Boy was just messing with him, and it made that so much funny. And then you can see Keith Lee and Swerve like laughing their asses off seeing that. There's so many great moments, not just from them, from Powerhouse Hobbs hitting a fucking power bomb from I believe it was Jungle Boy when he fucking went for like he jumped from like the top turnbuckle and just caught him and fucking power bombed him, which was insane. And it's just like I I knew they weren't gonna like give them the championship belts or relinquish it just yet because of of what's gonna be happening soon enough when we get to it. But this match was definitely a classic. I enjoyed it. It's one of my personal favorites, so 9 out of 10. And I want to watch it again.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear two very different reviews. Mine and Chris are going to have probably very different things to say about this next match. Chris will probably have the more negative review than me. This is for the AEW Championship, Hangman Adam Page versus CM Punk. If you want to hear the negative review, this is Chris going to be talking first. Then if you want to hear the extremely positive review, that'll be mine. So Chris, go off.
Listen, this match isn't bad, all right? I'm I'm not gonna shit on it completely because I'm not gonna lie, this match was definitely a banger. But I was really surprised seeing it live that there was not that many CM Punk fans, if I'm being quite honest. There was more Adam Page, or I'm
There
sorry,
actually
Adam
were.
Hangman.
It was like 70% Adam Page and 30% CM Punk.
But regardless, this match it's good, all right, it's really good. But I I have major complaints with like the first 5 minutes because like I'm not gonna fault CM Punk for this or Hangman because quite frankly the slap contest, the slap chops or whatever, was so fucking bad, especially from CM Punk. Like I could tell he was not hitting it, and it wasn't happening. It was such a slow burn. But after that initial slap contest, it finally got to the juice and bones of the match. Like you have this awesome back and forth between like Hangman like losing his shit, being too emotional, costing them the match, and then CM Punk, kind of being, calculative and whatnot. But there's one thing that was pretty funny is the fact that as Hangman, no, I'm sorry, CM Punk tried to hit the buckshot lariat. It was so fucking bad because for some reason I don't know if he was injured or something, but he did it twice and he failed both attempts, and it was so bad. I'm like, Botchamania. Botchamania. Where's Champion CM Punk? But other than that, this match was excellent. I'm glad it hit the 50-minute mark because I enjoyed it for what it was. It was great. I'm still disappointed about the ending. I knew I wasn't going to be, but I'm more of a fan of AEW guys and WWE superstars, if I'm being quite honest. And I understand why they did this because the CM Punk becoming the champion is going to lead to many excellent stories. Like we'll probably get Samoa Joe fighting him like you mentioned, or we might even get like a Daniel Bryant thing going after CM Punk. But it was a good match. I thought it was solid, so I'm gonna give it an 8. There were, like I said before, there were some moments where I completely didn't buy it. I don't like CM Punk, but I will respect him this time because he does put on bangers here and again on AEW at his current age. So 8 out of 10. Your turn, Daniel.
So, I am gonna have to, before I talk about the match, Chris, I have to respond to one thing
Shoot,
that I really, really disagree with you on.
shoot.
CM Punk is not a WWE guy. Like his origins are actually Ring of Honor.
And no one cares about Ring of Honor.
Except you
Nerds.
do.
Except
You
nerds.
do.
Except
No,
nerds.
Shut up. You care about Ring of Honor, you bitch. Don't even turn on Ring of Honor now.
They might as well spit off Ring of Honor because of Samoa Joe and Adam Cole. Poopy.
Well, listen, man. I think you're acting like a child over the fact that CM Punk is the new AEW champion. I've said it again. CM Punk is the new AEW champion. Let's fucking go. He is the first wrestler in history to hold the ROH, the ECW, the WWE, and the AEW championship.
Disgusting.
That is a legendary stat. He is not a WWE guy. He has stated time and time again how much he's hated the place. He's basically anything but a WWE guy. So don't associate him with that crap.
But that's what he's known
No.
for.
Well, who cared? Who gives a shit? That's not what he's proud of. What he's proud of is being an AEW champion.
True.
And here's the truth, all right?
Mm-hmm.
You are just a new age fan. That's why you're cheering for guys like the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page. Guys who will freely use the super kicks and the tombstones like they are DDTs. And that's just why I can't really fuck with it, man. You can't fuck with these new age stars because they're just not treating these fucking moves that actually are supposed to do damage with respect. So I gotta say it. Adam Page is a great wrestler. He was a great champion. And everyone calling him a bad champion are wrong. All right? Everyone calling him a bad champion are wrong. He is a great champion. His whole story with Omega and, chasing the title, it's been fantastic, okay? It's been fantastic. But right now, his biggest opponent, the guy everyone wants to see him fight, Kenny Omega, isn't even around right now. And let's be very clear, we don't even know when he's going to even return. So are we really going to keep the belt on a guy over a return that is uncertain to happen? That's just my genuine question.
No.
And you've said it before, there's too many stories for CM Punk. Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, Eddie Kingston, Jeff Hardy, Adam Cole. It doesn't fucking end realistically. And if they sign Wyndham, you already know it's game over. So here's my point. I really like Adam Page as champion. And he beat top guys. He beat Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, and Kenny Omega. He beat top guys. And when it comes down to like the AEW canon, he's definitely one of the top tier. So there's no denial of Adam Page. Anybody saying that he's buried is definitely wrong. Adam Page is going to be okay. He is only 30 years old. He is going to be okay. Now, CM Punk, I never thought he would return in a million years. But seeing him return now is just fantastic. And I will admit, the chop battle was embarrassing, especially on Hangman Adam Page's end.
No.
And Punk botching the buckshot lariat twice was admittedly pretty bad. And he even admitted that himself after the match. So, with all of that being said, we were in for the Summer of Punk 3. A lot of good matches, a lot of good storylines, a lot of good television. I have nothing else to say. This was the right decision. They betrayed AEW because of these WWE guys. That's all I see all over my timeline. That's all I see. Let me tell you folks something. WCW signed Hulk Hogan, Razor Ramon, Kevin Nash, Roddy Piper, Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage. Literally, Steve Austin. I could literally list everybody, right? Basically, the point being is that outside of Michaels, Bret Hart, and The Undertaker, WCW literally had fucking everybody. And if they didn't have everybody, they would have never beaten WWF in the fucking first place. So, this argument is stupid. This argument is dumb. Fuck it. Put the fucking AEW belt on CM Punk. Put the AEW tag team titles on the Hardy Boys. And put the AEW Women's Championship on Athena. I don't fucking care.
But yeah, anything else you'd like to say, Daniel, to the fine folks before we end the podcast?
Well, Punk winning was fantastic. The match was amazing. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. That is how you end a pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen. And this show overall, the entertainment was unstoppable. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. What's your rating for the show, Chris?
Honestly, an 8. Just for the fact those 3 bad matches of the Samoa Joe and Britt Baker, but we already talked about that, and then another match I mentioned because like those 3 were definitely not my favorite. Oh, and then Sammy Guevara, but I didn't watch it, so I guess if I did watch it, I'd still remain positive. 8 out of 10. It was a good show. Not my favorite, but it was pretty good, and it was fun live.
Yep, it was very fun live. Thank you all so much for watching this episode. I've been Daniel.
I've been Chris.
And thanks to the fact that I've won the predictions, I'll have a season 1 finale video incoming. So be prepared for that on the way. We'll see you all in the next video.